Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about a book that is at once a social realist depiction of our troubled times, a gripping coming-of-age story, a magical fantasy epic, and a grim, terrifying dystopia. That can't be one book. Books are either one thing or another thing. Shut up, alter ego me. I'm talking about the Bone Clocks. Now, this book is so ambitious and insane, it's kind of hard to even know how to begin talking about it. It's basically 6 interlocking novellas, each jumping ahead by a decade. So the first one opens up in 1983, and the final section ends in the future year of 2043. The thing that connects every single one of them is Holly Sykes, the main character of the first novella. She is this spunky teenage girl, 16 years old, who runs away from home one summer afternoon. As she runs off, hitchhiking, hiding in churches, meeting crazy people, we learn through flashbacks that Holly isn't just an ordinary girl. When she was younger, she had people speak to her within her mind. She didn't know what any of this meant. She aptly titles this series of episodes Holly Sykes and the Weird Shit. Parts 1, 2, and last act. And guys, stuff's about to get even weirder, because over the course of her runaway adventure, it's hinted to the reader that there's this whole other magical world of effed up stuff happening in the background that even Holly isn't privy to. I don't want to give anything away, but there's murder, magical fights, and all sorts of other crazy stuff lying ahead. Alright, now cut to the next novella. Holly's gone, 10 years have passed, and now we're following this seemingly unrelated posh boy at Cambridge named Hugo Lamb. Now, this shift in the novel is not the first time you'll experience this sort of section hangover. When I got to the second section, I was like, who's this Hugo Lamb guy? Where's my friend Holly? I don't care about this new guy. I want to go back to the old section. But guys, by the end of Hugo Lamb's section, he was my favorite character. This sway of emotions basically happened at every preceding section from here on out. There's following Hugo Lamb is a war veteran in Iraq. Then there's Crispin Hershey, this hilarious and devilish author. Then there's a guy named Marinus, who's basically like this mind-bending, time-traveling guy. And then there's this old lady who's a survivor in this now terrifying dystopia world where the internet has gone away and there's no electricity and there's no oil and everything is terrifying. It's really amazing the way David Mitchell switches voice, narrator, character, time, place, setting, genre, and yet it all creates this amazing self-contained world. The way in which characters get referenced or make cameo appearances in other sections has this incredibly immersive effect that makes you feel as if you're watching this incredibly sort of self-operated world, and that even though you're in one character's head and hearing their story, you really do believe that every single minor character is doing something at that moment and is living their life and existing as you're reading this other person's story. And it's just super cool. You need to experience this effect for yourself to fully get it, but it's awesome. This book is filled with so many different voices and opinions and styles that it's kind of unbelievable. And I want to read to you 6 fun quotations that I liked from each of the 6 different narrators. So here we go. Then Brubrecht tells the bloke at the counter, 2 cod and chips please, and hands over a $5, and the bloke glances at me and gives Brubrecht that nice one son look that men give each other, which pisses me off because me and Brubrecht aren't boyfriend and girlfriend, and we're not bloody going to be however many battered cods he gives me. Richard Cheeseman, the Piccadilly Review's rising star, has been cornered by Come Up to the Lab, Cambridge's premier goth metal trio, whose concert at the Corn Market was acidly ridiculed in Varsity last month. By Richard Cheeseman. Hands higher, another Marine yelled at a man in a mechanic's oil-stained overalls who said, Mafi mushkila, no problem, no problem. But the Marine shouted, don't contradict me, and booted the man in the stomach. All our guts jerked tight in sympathy, and he folded over, gasping and coughing. Who on God's festering earth does that 6-foot-wide, corduroy-clad, pubic-bearded rectal pro Richard Cheeseman think he is? Quite possibly, this atemporal sojourner would want nothing to do with horology, nor care that there were others like her scattered thinly throughout the world, but I felt heartened that we were a species one individual less in danger than 15 minutes before. It's grief for the regions we deadlanded, the ice caps we melted, the Gulf Stream we redirected, the rivers we drained, the coasts we flooded, the lakes we choked with craft, the seas we killed, the species we drove to extinction, the pollinators we wiped out, the oil we squandered, the drugs we rendered impotent, the comforting liars we voted into office, all so we didn't have to change our cozy lifestyles. Bam! As you can see, this book is almost orchestral in the range of its voices and styles. But more than that, I think it's this book's philosophy and perspective on life and literature that I can really get behind. Its mixing of different genres suggests that, YA, sci-fi, fantasy, social realism, satire, that these are all modes of storytelling, and they are great modes, and they stand greatly together or apart. But regardless, that's great, because stories are great. So yeah, I love this book. It was my first by David Mitchell. If you guys have read this or any of his other works and have any recommends, please let me know in the comments below. Also include your thoughts. I can't wait to hear from you guys. If you like this video, please like it, and if you really like this video, please subscribe. Until next time, happy reading. Bye bye bye. It's like a clock and my bone, and they're knocking together. Bone clocks.